Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you like this episode, please remember to hit the like button and leave a comment or two, then subscribe and click on the bell to receive notifications of whenever we release new videos. Also, please remember to share them to your social media. There's a certain kind of silence you only find in spring on Montana's Rocky Mountain front. It's not quite winter's stillness, and not yet summer's chatter. It's a pause, a breath between seasons. That was the kind of morning it was on Monday, April 14th, 2025. The sun had just cleared the limestone ridges, casting long shadows over the hills near Dupuyer, Montana. The grass was damp with melting frost, and somewhere off to the west you could hear magpies bickering in the trees. And in the middle of all that quiet, a man was walking alone. His name has not yet been released to the public, but for the sake of this story, let's call him Shane. Shane was doing what thousands of others do every year in the Northern Rockies. He was shed hunting. Now, if you're not from the West, shed hunting might sound a little odd. It has nothing to do with backyard storage units. This is about finding something far more elusive, antlers. Every winter, bull elk, mule deer, and moose shed their antlers as part of their natural cycle. Then, as spring begins to thaw the mountains, people go out searching for them. These antlers, called sheds, can be used for all kinds of things. Some folks craft them into chandeliers, furniture, or knife handles. Others sell them to collectors or pet stores, where they're turned into chew toys for dogs or pet rodents. For others, it's just the thrill of the find, hiking through wild country, hoping to spot that telltale curve of bone half buried in grass. And that's exactly what Shane was doing, wandering the brushy slopes above Dupuyer, eyes to the ground, packing his firearm, just in case. He wasn't the only one stirring that morning. Somewhere nearby, a 13-year-old grizzly bear had emerged from her wintered den with her yearling cub in tow. Over the past year, she'd defended her offspring from hungry and savage boar grizzlies, who would like nothing better than to kill her cubs to bring her back into estrus for breeding. She would defend her offspring with her life, or darn near it. She likely had at least 2 cubs, but now only this lone cub remained with her. After months of hibernation, she was hungry, cautious, and entirely focused on keeping that cub alive. Food is scarce when bears first emerge from their dens. The freezing temperatures have suppressed plant growth for months, and the first to emerge are grasses. They offer some initial nourishment to get the bears by until berry season later in the summer. Until then, they will feed on mushrooms, pine nuts, grubs, and larvae, as well as just about anything that offers a scent that fills their sensitive noses. The encounter happened fast, as it always does. Maybe Shane crested a hill, not knowing she was below. Maybe the wind shifted, carrying his scent toward her, just as he passed too close. Either way, the grizzly smelled him, then saw him, and she charged. A full-grown grizzly can sprint at over 30 miles per hour over broken terrain. That's faster than a racehorse in the first few strides. They blur across deadfall pine trees and blast their way through brush that few men would try to get through. Shane had seconds, and possibly only fractions of a second. He didn't have bear spray, but he did have a gun. And in that split-second decision, the kind you don't practice, the kind your body just makes, he raised his firearm and fired. The bullet hit. The bear dropped. The charge was over. Shane stood there alone again, heart hammering, lungs heaving, the echo of the shot still ringing in his ears. And just like that, the landscape was quiet again. A mother grizzly was dead. Her cub nearby watched from a distance. Later that day, Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks officers arrived. They confirmed the bear was healthy, 13 years old, no history of conflict, no sign of illness or injury. The cub was in good shape. Rangers made the call. They'd leave it in the wild. It was old enough to survive, they said. Maybe. Now here's where the story changes tone. Because while this encounter ended with no human injuries, it triggered something bigger: questions. Grizzly bears in the lower 48 are still protected under the Endangered Species Act. So anytime one is killed, especially in the defense of human life, a federal investigation follows. So far, Shane appears to have done everything legally. He reported the incident, cooperated fully, didn't run, didn't hide. But legality and regret don't always walk hand in hand. Some locals defended his actions. Others asked if it had to come to that. And wildlife managers were once again left to balance two truths. The first of which is that bears are dangerous, and the second is that bears belong here. Dupuyer sits on the eastern edge of the Northern Continental Divide ecosystem, home to about 1,000 grizzlies. This region spans Glacier National Park, the Bob Marshall Wilderness, and a swath of foothills where humans and bears live side by side. In the spring, that overlap becomes more intense. Bears are newly awake. Humans are pouring into the wild. And trails, often overgrown or narrow, offer little room for both. According to wildlife officials, most defensive bear attacks involve mother bears with cubs. And most of those occur at close range, inside 50 feet, sometimes inside 10. That's not enough space to think, only enough space to act. And this time Shane acted in a way that let him walk away. But it also left a healthy sow grizzly dead and a young cub alone in one of the wildest, most unforgiving places in America. It's easy to pass judgment from afar. Easy to say what should have happened. But out there, where the wind cuts through the timber, where the bears don't follow maps, and the trail is made with each step, easy doesn't apply. So maybe instead of answers, we ask better questions. Could bear spray have been enough to stop the protective sow's attack? Should shed hunting be regulated during peak bear activity? As more people flood into the backcountry, how do we keep these encounters rare and survivable for everyone involved? This wasn't a trophy hunt. It wasn't a backcountry blunder. It was a moment. A single sudden moment where a wild animal defended her young, and a man had to decide whether to pull the trigger. She did. And he did. And now that silence on the mountain feels a little heavier. This is Scary Bear Attacks. I'll gladly read and reply to your thoughts, so post them in the comments section below, and let's talk about it. Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider clicking on the like button and clicking on the bell icon. We'll help you know when we post our new episodes. Posting our video links to your social media profiles furthers awareness, and it's fun. We slashed our prices in our merch store, linked below, so check out the bargains there while you shop. As a member of our human community, remember to adventure bravely and be careful out there, especially in bear country.